Those are really, really beautiful stats. And there we go. Price perfectly delivers to our target. Amazing, amazing execution here. What is going on, traders? Welcome to this brand new silver bullet backtesting video. I know it has been a while since I actually uploaded, so that is why I really wanted to do the silver bullet backtesting video for you guys, since it was so highly requested. I know that the silver bullet strategy and the way I explained it on my channel really attracted a lot of attention here on YouTube, also attracted a lot of people to my community, and that is why I thought I'm going to be making another free video for each and every single one of you today, where I really explain my entire thought process behind me taking the trades, managing the positions, and exiting the positions. So before I go into the details of what the silver bullet strategy actually is again, for those of you who don't know, I will also include timestamps so you can skip to that part. The first thing we're going to have to do is, of course, generate a random date, because I am all for transparency and I just really want to do this all fair. So let's generate a random date here. So let's go from February 1st, or let's do January 1st, 2015, which I think is where FX Replay goes back to. By the way, I am by no means affiliated with FX Replay. I just really like their backtesting software, in all honesty. So we're going to do it from the 1st of January 2015 till the 30th of April 2024. So yeah, should be fine. Let's get those dates. So the date is January 1st, 2024. So let's go ahead and smack that in, the FX Replay here. All right, guys, so as you can see, I just hopped onto the charts. We are right now on Sunday, the 31st of December 23, and we will be trading the silver bullet strategy right here. So what are the simple rules and what actually is the silver bullet strategy? The silver bullet strategy is nothing more than us focusing on two different time windows, or at least in this video. So during the London session, we will be focusing on catching a trade and capitalizing on it between 3 and 4 a.m. During the New York session, we will be trying to capitalize on a move between 10 and 11 a.m. Now, these times are very important because during these times, you will see either heavy manipulation or just heavy moves overall. As you can see highlighted in this blue box, which is the silver bullet of the London session, you can see that price made a really harsh move after taking out liquidity. And right here during the New York session, the same happened. Here, we mitigated a fair value gap and an order block, and then started to run lower. This is what we're going to be trying to capitalize on. I'm going to explain each and every reasoning behind every single trade that I take. So do follow along, and I will be trying to delve into as much depth as possible. But of course, I'm not going to be able to cover everything in this specific video. If you do want more information, I have a lot of free resources available on YouTube, and I also have a community that I run, which you can take a look at if you are interested. So let's hop right to the next silver bullet session here. Let me quickly see if these settings are okay. When at 3, 10, and then this one right here, we're going to leave that and we're going to ignore the PM session because this is mainly going to be for futures and we will be trading EU right now. All right, so we have arrived in our first silver bullet instance. Now, for our analysis, the only thing we will be using is going to be the 15-minute time frame as well as the 1-minute time frame. The 1-minute time frame will be our execution time frame, and the 15-minute will be our higher time frame where we do all of our analysis on. So looking at the chart right here, what we can immediately see is that we took out a low right here, and it seems like we have a bunch of open buy-side liquidity. So we know that trendline traders are looking at this, order block traders are looking at this, smart money is looking at this. So this is a really nice level to actually start targeting. So I'm mainly going to be looking for longs right now. All we need right now is some decent displacement and intent with a market structure shift, and I will be very interested. So what I'm looking at right now is if this level gets broken with displacement, I am looking for a potential long position right here up until possibly these highs right there. So let's see what the market is going to be giving us right here. There we go. We do have that breach right here, that market structure shift. And all I'm really going to be trying to look for, I know a lot of people really try to focus on the fair value gap. So putting your entry right here, to me, that doesn't really matter as long as the reward is lucrative. In this video, I'm going to be taking the position. I'm going to want at least 2R for my trades. So let's take a look. That would be somewhere over here. So my stop loss is going to be below the low that swept liquidity right here from the Asian session. And my take profit is going to be the nearest buy side liquidity for 2R, which is absolutely perfect. Now, if there is a very big fair value gap, of course, I would be putting it there. For me, right now, it doesn't really have to. There's a reasoning behind why I just place a position right here. Now, let's see if we actually get filled or not. So it seems like price actually went without us, which is completely fine. We'll just look for a next potential setup. So let's remove this position that is no longer of use, and let's hop back to the 15 minutes to catch a gist of what exactly is going on right here. So what I immediately see is that this candle right here did not close with a bottom wick, which is very curious, very interesting. If you know the power of three concept, which I cover in the YouTube channel, I think, or at least in the course I really cover it in depth, it's a very, very important matter in all my analysis on a day-to-day basis. What we can immediately see is that this did not close with a bottom wick, which basically means that there is a very big chance that we will be flipping bearish right now. The reason for that is that around 98% of candles close with both a bottom and a top wick, right? If this one doesn't, that usually means that there are a lot of orders waiting below these lows to be liquidated. To stack on top of that, we can see that right here we took this out, and on this 15-minute candle, we can already see that we have a really, really strong rejection off of this. This is also going to be very visible on the 1 minute. So what I'm going to be trying to do is look for a short right here with a simple target in mind, the closest sell side liquidity. So all I'm really waiting for right now is a really clear market structure shift. And once I see this, and if it occurs before 4, I'm happy and I'm interested in a potential position. Let's quickly take a look at how that 15-minute candle closed. And this is all looking very good so far. So all I really want to see right now, because we did sweep these relative equal highs right here, I would like to see displacement below this level, and then I can consider short positions. And there we go. That's exactly what we needed. I'm going to be taking a short. My stop loss is going to be in a safe place up here. And my target is going to be at least 2R. So I'm going to have to go a little bit lower. This can be justified with the remaining liquidity that we already spotted right here on the left-hand side. So let us place an order. This time we will place this on the fair value gap. Why? We didn't really extend that much. And the reason for me putting my stop loss all the way up there is very simple. We induced relative equal highs. I don't want to expose myself to putting my stop loss right where there is much more liquidity residing, right? For those who always look for early entries, a perfect entry opportunity presented itself right here. You didn't, however, have a market structure shift, so that's a bit less of a confirmation, but the confluences of that sweep on liquidity were pretty significant already right here. We got filled, prices reacting quite heavily, and as you can see, we did get filled. Yes, we got filled before 4, so that is a valid position. We can, however, not open any new positions, and let me quickly play this forward for you guys. There we go. Beautiful reaction so far. And there we go. Now price did come back quite close to our stop loss level right here. There's a very big reason, and my elite members will know exactly why. I'm pretty confident that this high was not going to be taken. I'm not going to delve into too much details here. The time I have right here in this video is just too short and precious to fill it with all of these advanced concepts right here. Let us jump to the next silver bullet session. So we have arrived in the New York session silver bullet, and let's first hop to the 15-minute here to get a gist of what exactly is going on. All right, so what we can see right here is that price is now running above this high. We already displaced below this low. So the market basically told us, hey, I want to go lower, right? If it were to have swept, this right here would have been a sweep, and then we would have seen a reaction to the upside. But given the fact that it really displaced below this, this is already indicating that price actually might want to go look for lower prices. Now, of course, we have to frame that with a clear target in mind. And if we take a look, what can we see right here to the left? We can see that we have a bunch of buildup of liquidity right here below these lows. Let's actually mark this out because this could be a very good potential target for our shorts. Now, all we really need is a strong reaction to this level. We do get one. I do want to see that market structure shift though. So that's going to be, for me at least, this level broken. There we go. We do see that right now. As we can see here, we have a very nice potential position. We are going to set our trade something along these lines. We are going to target that level that we previously mapped out, which is a 15-minute level, of course. So as you can see, that are these lows right here. Now I'm also going to be marking out this London low right here, where we could potentially start thinking about closing the majority of our position already, or at least managing to break even, because at this point it could reverse and go for the imbalance that we left behind, of course. So let us take a look. Let's simply place the order right here, sell limits, see if we get filled. We do. Price is currently reacting absolutely beautifully. Let me zoom this out for you guys and see what it wants to do. Now at this point, momentum is really starting to die down. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to simply move my take profit to this low right here. I don't want to be stuck in any positions in the PM session. So I'm going to let this run. I'm not going to manage my position at break even or whatever, because if we take a look right here, we induce relative equal highs. We also have some trend line liquidity going on. So there is no real point in managing our position just yet. So let's see if we hit TP or if we get stopped out here. And as you can see, we hit TP for a total profit of 1.3, or not too shabby, I would say. So currently up 3.3%. That's completely fine. Let us hop to the next silver bullet session. Alrighty, so this is a picture perfect short setup. The elite members will already know exactly what is up right here and why this is a picture perfect short setup. So first things first, here we had this clear sweep of the high, which got respected. We then induced liquidity, took out most of that liquidity right here during the Asian session. So we can already assume that this is going to be a protected high right here, which we can play off of. And then if we take a look at the sell side, what do we see? We see a really strong buildup of liquidity in the form of a trend line right here. Now, we also know that the smart money traders are all going to be looking for this as our order block to push to the upside, right? And we are going to try and counter these people. So very simple. If we see a really strong reaction to this high, which is the Asian high, at that point, I'm very interested in shorts. And given that we are in the silver bullet and we already know what kind of reactions we will see, I'm quite positive that we will see a decent reaction. And indeed we do. We already have this small little push to the downside right here. Now let's quickly go back to the 15-minute to get another quick look here. All right, I think it is already pretty safe for shorts. We had our market structure shift right here, as we can see. We had a really strong momentum change to the downside. We had this candle right here, which clearly engulfed this one. So that is showing momentum to the sell side, which we all know is not caused by retail. It's caused by institutions, right? So let us try to target a short. The target is going to be very simple to me. I'm going to be targeting all of the liquidity from the Asian session. I'm even going to go for those lows. Why? Because we know that below there, we already had a level of relative equal lows, which the market already gave its hand that it wanted to take down. So that is exactly what we are going to be trying to target right here. So I think if we extend it a little further to that London low right there, we still have a really high probability position with amazing risk to reward. So let us try and enter that. So we get filled. Are we going to get stopped out? Yes, we are going to get stopped out. That's completely fine. We can still re-enter. There is a sweep, a beautiful one. Now we just have to wait for a market structure shift if we want to re-enter. We cannot blindly re-enter, of course, after taking a stop out. So right here, we do seem to be getting that. And this is a really promising move. All right. We leave behind a beautiful breaker block in combination with a fair value gap. So we can use that to take a short off of, right? We're going to be covering the high that swept, and the target is going to be the same this time, unfortunately, not for 5R, but for 3.4R. And this, guys, this is reality of trading. You're not going to win every single trade. We know that the confluences are there. We know that our edge is currently into place, so we are still going to continue to bet on our edge, right? Let's see if we do get a fill or not. And unfortunately, guys, we do not get filled, and price already hit our TP right here. So we are not going to be able to capitalize on this position. So currently we are back down to 2.3% gain on the account by risking 1%, which is completely fine. Let us hop to the next silver bullet session, which is going to be the one of the New York session. Alrighty, so right here, this is a very complex situation and I really do not like to trade this. My elite members will already know why I don't like to trade this. This is a perfect example where we swept the sell side and we also just took out the buy side. So what we are going to want to see is true intent. So we know that the market is right now pushing above that buy side, right? So if we see displacement to the upside right here, meaning that we have a candle close and some true volume going through those highs, we know that price might actually want to be going for the buy side. If, however, we see a push higher with a strong reaction, we know that price is likely going to continue lower. Now, why is that? That's very simple. Price already took out the sell side. So if it shows a reaction and intent to the downside, we know that this was not actually a sweep, but that this right here was rather the market showing where it actually wanted to go and it just collecting the fuel to take out the buyers to then continue for sells. So we will have to see what the market is going to be showing us. We'll jump to the 1 minute here and see exactly what goes on. I think this is also new, so going to be exciting price action here. All right, so far, let's look at the 15-minute. There is no true displacement to the upside, and it seems like we are really reacting quite strongly to taking out these highs right here. So I am personally really inclined to taking shorts. Here, we are not going to want to see a market structure shift. The reason is very simple. If the market comes all the way down here, it took out the majority of the positions already. So we have a fair value gap right here. Very good. Let us place a order short. Right here, we can see that this candle violated this previous candle's high. So this could be a very nice position to be managing our stop behind. And as for our target, let us quickly zoom out to the 15-minute right here. If we quickly take a look right here, it seems like the market might want to take out this bit of trendline liquidity that we have down here. So I would say, as for a logical target, we could be thinking about something along the lines of 109072, possibly. Let's see if that nets us 2R. It doesn't, so let's extend this a little further just so we get to 2R. And we will manage our stop loss at break even as soon as we take out this level, because we know that might be a possible reversal point. All right, perfect. Let's see if we actually get a fill here. And as we can see, price again went without filling us, which is perfectly fine. This is the reality of trading. It doesn't matter. And we still have some time for the silver bullet session here, actually. Let's see if we get a decent setup. Not really. Price is just continuously pushing to the downside here. So nothing interesting. Let us hop to the next silver bullet session, which is going to be the one from the London session. So again, rinse and repeat. What are we going to be looking for? Where is price likely going to drive during this session? If we take a look right here, we can already see that there was a lot of liquidity on the sell side taken out, and we saw this massive reaction right here. Then it seems like right here, we took out some more liquidity and continued pushing to the upside without really seeing any proper reactions to buy side being taken out. So price is way too slow in its reaction right here, which to me is showing that it likely has a higher time frame objective, which could be the previous day's high right here. So I think that might be what we're going to be taking a look at. By the way, guys, I call these types of things every single day. So every single day before the New York session start, which is basically the only session that I trade, I basically make a call on several pairs and assets as to where price is likely going to drive on the 15-minute and on a daily basis. And I do this, I call this beforehand to my students with a 90% accuracy rate. So I do this live every single day with a 90% accuracy rate. And I share this, of course, with the elite members so they can basically earn while they learn in the elite community, which I think is absolutely awesome. So let's see if we can potentially grab a nice position right here. So looking at the 15-minute, what would I like to see? I would like to see some liquidity from the 15-minute time frame to be taken out before I'm going to be considering taking any sort of longs. Let's look at the 1 minute if that actually happened already. And it seems like it actually did. And if you guys know my continuation model, then you all know that this is actually a picture perfect continuation model setup. So we have the bullish price action. We have a clear target in mind. We have our sweep and we have our strong push higher. Now we also, as you can see, mitigated a fair value gap already, and it seems like we had a reaction to it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a long position right here. Since it is 3 already, we can start looking for it. I'm going to use this little sweep right here, this low, this protected low as my stop loss. And the target is going to be very simple. It's going to be that high that I mapped out from the previous day's high, right? Let us put a market execute order on right here. We are executing within this fair value gap, and let us see what happens here. Beautiful reaction. Now, what we don't want to see is a really strong reversal after taking out this high, right? I think, again, we have another stacked continuation model setup. By the way, the continuation model, if that's something you're interested in, you can also find this on my YouTube channel, and I cover this really elaborately in the course as well. What we can actually do right here is try to stack on another position, manage it below this low right here, and then see if we also get to our, yes, we do. So we are going to be able to stack our positions. Also, I'm really in favor of putting on more load on your position when you are in profit compared to putting on more load on your position when you're in a loss, right? If price is moving in your favor, you should be stacking positions. If price is going against you, you should be avoiding taking any more load on, right? Let us see what happens here. Are we going to be staying in that position or not? Are we going to get taken out? We will see. There we go, strong push. And by the way, this position right here, by now, we can move that to around break even. So we are basically risk-free on this big position. And then we have our scaling, which is going to have that 1% risk. Let's see what happens here. And there we go. Price perfectly delivers to our target. Amazing, amazing execution here. And we are currently up around a 9.3%. That's very nice. So this was almost 5R and then 2.1R. So let's call it even. It is around 7R with these two trades combined, both executed during the silver bullet of the London session right here. Let us jump to the New York silver bullet session here. We have already arrived on Thursdays. Before I'm going to trade this Thursday, my students all know I do not like Thursdays. I take my days off on Thursdays simply because the market doesn't favor me on Thursdays like at all. So let us start with looking at the 15-minute right here. Now to my elite students, quickly tell me, what do we see right here? All right, so give you a little bit of time to think. Now remember how this high right here used to be a protected high, reacted to it, had a really strong push to the downside, took out external sell side liquidity, came back up. Now we swept that high once again, which we know is a really external point of liquidity, right? So what does that make this high? A protected high, right? This is a protected high. So if we know that this high is going to be protected and price is likely not going to be able to violate that in this session or in this day, what will we do? We will try to focus on shorts towards the sell side, right? But first, what we are going to want to see, because we had a really strong reaction to sweeping sell side right here to the upside, we are going to want to see buy side taken out, which is going to be either this level, or this level, and a reaction to it before we're going to be able to capitalize on anything, because we do not want to expose ourselves to becoming the liquidity of the trendline traders right here, right? So let us jump to the 1 minute and see what price is going to be giving us here. Really strong push to the upside. Not really going to be playing anything here just yet. This might actually be forming a beautiful setup. I clearly swept this high. And now we're starting to see a lot of momentum kick in. Yeah, I do really like this actually. So we have the market structure shift. The market structure shift is way up here, right? So what I'm going to be doing right here, I'm going to take a short off of this fair value gap, and we basically already tapped into it. So let me take a short right here. I am going to simply cover this high, knowing that it swept this high right here. And the target, let's go back to the 15 to look for a proper target. I think we can go for the lows here because we know that we have all that Asian session liquidity. Actually, this is picture perfect, right? We know that it might not take this level out because we know that this is the external liquidity and this is likely a protected low, right? But what we do see is that we have so much liquidity residing here still, and we already reached our objective here. We have a protected high. So yeah, we can actually go ham on the execution right here. And since I'm going to be targeting so much, I am going to move my stop loss a little higher, and we are going to target all of this. And we might not have to do it this high. Pretty safe right up here. Might not be necessary, but better safe than sorry, right? We're going to market execute because we already mitigated the fair value gap. Sorry for the harsh moves. Just trying to put it in the right frame for you guys. Let us see. I don't really like how slow price is acting right here. We're also outside of the session now. Nothing to really manage behind just yet. Starting to run quite beautifully. It's getting quite late in the session. Normally, you wouldn't want to hold positions like this, but with a strong protected high there and so much open liquidity, there's no other direction price could go to, right? So I would definitely leave a runner, like a little swing position on this one, especially because of our safe stop loss. Even spreads are not going to be able to tap us out of our position there. No reason to get fearful when you see a buildup like this during the Asian session. We know that this is just a buildup of liquidity. And what we will likely see is that the London session is going to push lower, right? Can use that for our next silver bullet session, which is going to be Friday. Let's actually skip there. I don't expect much movement during the Asian session here at all. Right, we have arrived there and we are almost at our target here as well, which is awesome. All right, we actually know exactly what we can play here, right? We can literally just play the continuation down there. But I don't really have like an anchor point. I don't really like the fact that we have these open highs right here. So I'm going to wait for some of those to be clearly swept and intent being shown. Otherwise, I'm not that interested in taking a short just yet. And there we go. That's that previous position. Now we could actually start thinking about longs, right? Because we took all of this out. We definitely start thinking about a long targeting these highs. Let's see if we get a decent setup before 4. Not really, just pushing lower. All right, that was the Friday here. How much are we up, by the way? 13%. That's very nice. Let's go to the New York session here, which is going to be the final session that I will be covering here. Wow, what is this candle? This must be news, right? So take a peek at the 15-minute right here. Seems like we liquidated all of this. So again, do you see how everything fits in like the broader picture? I know some of my YouTube followers might not know exactly what I'm talking about here, but my elite members will know these ways of mapping out your liquidity. You don't even need market structure anymore. You can literally just read the charts with the protected highs and lows. Anyway, so we liquidated all of this liquidity here. We do have some imbalance to fill up right here. So if I have to take like a little guess as to where price might reach for news before reversing, because we know that we cannot leave all of these buyers in profits. If I have to take a guess, it's going to be this right here, right? No one is going to be stupid enough to take shorts, or smart enough, rather. No one is going to be smart enough to take shorts there if price just pushes up there aggressively. And everyone right here who wanted to get shorts off of these highs or the support and the resistance already got stopped out. So I think this would be a perfect level for price to mitigate and then reverse off of. So let's keep that on there and see what happens. I would catch a short off of that if a setup presents itself. I want to see really strong displacement. Oof, that's a beautiful market structure shift right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and take a short off of that. Just going to use that breaker block that we have right here. That is basically the level that I expected a reaction to, right? So let's smack on that short limit. And our target can actually beat the extreme lows, but let's call it like 4 RR. That's more than enough. This would be absolutely beautiful. Let's see if we actually get filled. That's also super important before we start talking about taking profits, right? We do. And now let's see if we don't get stopped out. It's also a very important one. This is beautiful and I can still take positions. That's perfect. So we swept this, had nice intent to the downside again. What time is it here? 10:51. I'm going to smack on another order with the same stop loss because this is just an extra cherry on top of the pie, right? We know what the market wants to do. Once we see this with the intent, the reaction, the market structure shift, it's just too beautiful not to take. So I'm going to market execute here before the silver bullet session ends. And I'm expecting really strong pushes to the downside here. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Now we just have to let this play out, right? Not much else we can do at this point. Perhaps we could target like this low and be done with it, actually. You know what? With this last position, what I'll actually do for you guys, I'm just going to try and read price to you all and see where we end up. I'm going to use the 15-minute for that. That to me says quite a lot more than the 1 minute does. And after that, I will gladly jump back to the 1 minute price action. Let's run it by the minute here. It's 12 here already. See, this to me is looking like a sweep. So at this point, I might consider exiting my position. Like if we take out that low once again, it's good. But if we start breaking this high, I might want to think of taking profits like around this area. Oof, what is that? That is news or something. That is a super strange candle. Yeah, this is not looking too nice. So what I'm going to do, I'm actually going to close these 2 positions, honestly, because this was a clear sweep to me. I don't think that price is going to continue lower without any drawdown anymore. Let's see if we had a good exit. Nah, quite okay, because this is around the price where we took our exit, right? All right, so that was a full week of the silver bullet strategy my way with, of course, the concepts that I teach in the course and I teach to my students and explain to you guys right here, right now. That is how I trade it and that's how I really like it. So let's jump to the analytics, shall we? Alrighty, so we just arrived at the analytics page. The trend line right here, or the equity curve, is absolutely beautiful. A 87.5% win rate, of course, only over the course of 8 trades. So my students will know I really encourage everyone before taking a strategy, even to demo, even just spending each and every single day with a strategy, you need data. You need at least 500 trades that tell you this strategy works. It has an edge for me. So do not start trading a strategy, wasting days and days and weeks, perhaps, or months, trading a strategy, forward testing it, if you do not have the data to support it. So 8 trades, it means nothing, right? But this does show that it is highly potent, the strategy, right? So we managed to make 16.9% with just risking 1%. The total drawdown, I think, was 1%. So yeah, come on. Those are really, really beautiful stats. Yeah, guys, not much more to say other than these stats are really good. So the average R was 2.5 R. We try to aim for 2 RRs, so that's to be expected. The highest RR that we scored this time was 4.9. According to our small data set right here, we have an ideal RR of 6.22, and our max ideal RR would be 14.28. The average trade duration is around 4 hours, which is not too long. We had a total of 8 trades. We managed to make all of these gains in just 6 days and 2 hours, which is very nice. 7 winners, 1 loser. We made mostly sells, and this is something that you will see me do more often. This is something that corresponds to my data as well. I simply don't take that much buys. I'm more of a seller. I don't know why, but I just feel like the sells are so much more aggressive, right? So that's something you'll see me do. The only loss occurred was on Wednesday. So yeah, to all of those people who say January isn't tradable, I traded in January. I did just fine. There is nothing wrong with January at all, so don't worry about that. So guys, if you do want to learn more about this specific strategy, I do teach the concepts around this very elaborately and very refined and simplified in the course, which you can find on my website. I will leave a link to that in the description. And of course, the spots are limited. I also decided to start really educating people in private mentorship. There is a thorough application, but there's a simple guarantee. If you do not find any value, if you do not become a better trader while I mentor you towards your dreams, the success you want to achieve, I will give you all of your money back. That's a guarantee. So if you're interested in that, I will leave a link in the description. Also, I will include the data from today's video in Discord. So if you join the free Discord server, you will find a channel right there where this data from this backtesting session will be, with screenshots, with the RR and all of the goodies like that. So you can look back at these trades, put them in your own data sheet if you want to, and continue working from that. So feel free to join the free Discord server. A lot of free value being dropped there on the daily. You'll also get notified when I drop new videos. Also, I would really appreciate it if you could like this video, leave a comment, possibly even subscribe, turn on the bell notification, go ham, right? And other than that, I really want to thank you for your time. I hope you found value in this video, and I will catch you all in the next one. Thank you. Bye-bye.